Hey, this is YBR with BEamNG.dRive, and today we're going to be taking a look at the RG Apex. Now, it looks like there are 4 versions of this vehicle, but there's actually only 3. We have the stock, the cup, and the race. For some reason, there are 2 cup versions listed here, but as far as I could tell, they have the exact same parts and the exact same tuning configuration. So we're going to start off with the stock version, which is a little bit slower than the race version, but about equal with the cup version. We're just going to drive it around for a bit. Now, this thing looks a lot like some of those off-road cars that you've seen me use in this game before, but it's really not designed for off-roading. I mean, I'm sure you could take it off-roading and it'll kind of work a little bit, but it's not what it's made for because it doesn't have that durable of a suspension and it doesn't have that much ground clearance. It's made for paved roads. And how does it handle these paved roads? Well, actually, really well. Almost unrealistically well, I would say. Something about the way it handles just doesn't feel like any other car in BEamNG.dRive. That's the easiest way to describe it. It feels like I'm playing a different game because of the way this car controls. A little bit more arcadey than what I'm used to, and it makes it just a different experience. So this is one of those cars where I would definitely say you gotta try it out to kind of understand what I mean. It just feels different. Whether or not that's good or bad, I don't know because I've never, ever driven a vehicle anything like this before in my life. And really, I haven't driven anything like this in any other video game either. Like, video games don't have these crazy, buggy-looking things that often. Like, I think there were a couple of things similar to this in Forza, but I never really used them. So, I genuinely have no idea how to judge this thing, so just know that it's different. But either way, it can go around corners at a good speed. It doesn't have that high of a top speed as you saw earlier, but a corner like that, it's a pretty steep corner. Can go around that pretty comfortably at about 35 miles per hour. If I was a little bit less scared and had a better entry angle, we probably could have done it in the 40s, I would think. But this car frightens me because I don't expect it to do what it does. Like, I'm going around a corner, alright, gotta slow down. Maybe not that much. And it'll just go around the corner, no problem. Like right there. I could have probably gone 50 miles per hour and it would have made it, but I don't trust it because it just feels different. So that's enough driving. Let's see if we can get this thing wrecked up. We have a huge straightaway right here, but unfortunately, we're not going to get much out of it because we're already nearing our top speed right here. We're going to try to just smack into these rocks, and we'll even get a little bit of slow-mo going on, just 8 times slow-mo, so you can see things happening. Pop goes the wheel, and actually, the car hit it in a way where it absorbed the impact well, so it didn't deform that much. Now, one thing I noticed about this thing is no matter what you do, you cannot break the drive shaft. That means as long as the rear wheels are attached, they will spin. Well, I guess that's excluding if you drown the vehicle, which you may or may not be able to do. I never think about testing that until it's too late. And even though the wheels may spin right here, this thing is going nowhere because I can no longer steer and I can no longer put the power down. So let's reset it. Now that you've seen how this thing drives on the road, let's go ahead and take it off-roading. We're going to start easy. First, we're going to do that dirt road over there to the left. And then if it can go through that, we're going to go ahead and try to take it to the desert in the middle of this map and see how it does there. So to get to that dirt road, it's not too far away. Once we cross the bridge, we are basically there. I just have to make sure I don't wreck the car in the process, because if I go too fast through here, it's really easy to just tap your wheels on the bridge and blow them off. So I'm making sure I go nice and slow through there. Perfect. And on to the dirt road just to see how it does. First thing I'm noticing, a lot more slippery on the dirt road. And the suspension, you can tell right here, it is bouncing hard because the suspension is not made for the bumpy dirt road. It's made for the much smoother paved roads, but it's actually doing a pretty good job. Like, I'm still flying through this thing at 60 miles per hour, which is pretty impressive for what this car was made to do. And now I really do want to see how it does when we just drive through regular terrain. Actually, we're going 80 miles per hour with this thing. Oh, goodness! It just dug in. I was going so fast, I just hit the corner, and the corner went right into the dirt, and we started rolling. How's it driving, though? Looks like it's still driving great. That was the best outcome possible from that situation. I could have easily had an undrivable car at the end of that, but somehow it bounced perfectly so we can keep on going. And we're going to go through this whole dirt road because at the end of the dirt road, that is the desert area I wanted to drive through. Call it a desert area, but it's not exactly a desert considering how much greenery there is, I guess. But I don't have a better name for it at this point in time. The Utah landscape. How about that? We'll call it the Utah landscape. And whoop, going a little off course right there. Got pulled by the bush. Here's where I wanted to drive, so let's go. I'm gonna have a little bit of a jump first to wreck the car, and then we'll be where I wanted to be. And it is still going, come on, all the way to the actual Utah landscape. No, I didn't make it. Let me back it out a bit just to make sure it doesn't get reset on the rocks. Now we'll just reset it back. Okay, how do we get through these rocks? Floor it! We're gonna wreck this thing up like a dozen times just to get to where I wanted to go. I don't care. I mean, that's not even wrecked, it's just upside down, but it's more inconvenient to try to roll it upright. So, reset. And then here we go. How will it do here? Bouncing a ton, but it's actually managing the terrain decently. Like, this is by no means the car I would use for this if I had a choice, but it's doing a decent job. Like, I only have 2 wheels on the ground at all times pretty much, but hey, I guess all I need is 2 wheels for this thing to work. That's amazing. That is truly amazing. This thing is a lot more versatile than I gave it credit for. And even after a jump like that, keeps going. I'm thinking that jump's gonna kill it. It landed it nice and smoothly. The suspension coped well, and as far as I can tell, no damage to the vehicle after all of that driving. So would I take it off-roading? No. Does it work? Yes. How about climbing some rocks? There is no way I could do this, right? I mean, that's what I thought about the first thing, but let's see. Ooh! It gave it a shot! It's giving it an honest shot, but that's just a little bit too steep for this thing. Although I am kind of curious how well it would do with like a sandy terrain that was pretty steep, because it looked like it was going so good at that thing, which is nearly vertical. I really want to see what it does. So we're going to just go to a map I just recently did a video for. It was called the Compact Map. There it is. It's kind of cut off, but let's go. And for this, we're going to once again just use the normal stock version, but we could get it in a different color. We could put it in a bright green that is obnoxiously bright, but works pretty good for this car. And that hill over there, that's what we're going to climb. So I'm just going to go ahead and teleport the car right about there. And let's see how this does. I expected to make it up this hill because it did so well off-roading earlier. I have a lot of trust in this car, but we'll see if that trust has been earned properly or not in a second. Ooh, going a little slow through here, but that's kind of just poor driving on my part. Gotta straighten this out and don't waste any of my momentum. Uh-oh. It didn't make it, but I kind of think that was on me. So I'm going to back this thing up just a bit to about right here. Can we get a little bit of traction going? All right. And then can it pull up? Yes! That went really, really well. I had one little hiccup, but that was all on me. And afterwards, it just kept going. Look at this. It keeps going. And then we'll drop it off the top. Get it wrecked up. And try to look at the damage a little bit, although it's pretty minimal, it looks like. I mean, with a vehicle like this, there's not too much damage to look at, except for the fact that the seats keep exploding all over the place. That's the one thing I keep noticing. But otherwise, everything seems decent enough. Anyways, on to the next map, which I wanted to drive this car on, which is Roachy Raceway. And I don't know why I just scrolled right there. That was dumb. And for here, we're going to finally use the not race version. We're going to use the cup version. And then we will also use the race version. But we're going to use the cup version first, just because it's the next step towards the race version. So this one is basically the same as the stock one, but it has a full roll cage. So that extra bar on the top has now been added. And then it also has those rear fenders right above the wheels. It only partially cover up the wheels, so this thing would never ever be street legal because the wheels are extending past the body and they're uncovered like that, which at least where I'm from would be like, nuh-uh, you can't drive that on the streets, no way, no how. So anyways, driving this thing around pretty much the same as the stock version. I'm assuming the roll cage does add a little bit of weight, and then the rear fenders add a little bit of downforce. But the change is so minimal, I honestly don't notice it. Like, if I really got into driving these cars for hours on end, I might eventually notice it, but I'm not going to dedicate that much time to just be able to identify such a small difference when the visual cues are there and I could just show you those instead. Look at those fenders, and look at that roll cage, and look at this crash that we're about to do into the wall directly ahead of us at about 83 miles per hour. That was actually the first kind of head-on crash, and it just went crumple. And I think maybe that roll cage did strengthen up that section right there because everything crumpled but the driver's compartment, which is exactly what you would want in a car to keep the drivers alive. Who cares if your groceries are crushed and your eggs are broken? You're alive! It's a miracle! And I'm looking at this and it looks alright, I guess. Not perfect, but vehicles in BEamNG.dRive rarely are. And now we're gonna go to the one you've all been waiting for, the race version of the RG Apex. We're gonna get it in white, and this one has a few changes from the one we were just driving. So the roll cage is once again gone. So it's like, you know what? I am so serious about weight reduction. Roll cage out here. It also has a big wing on the back for downforce, and then it also has one on the front for even more downforce. Now, does this affect the way the car handles? I'm not exactly sure because it also has a V8 engine in it, which makes it more powerful, which makes my driving more chaotic. So if it does give it more downforce, I'm too busy sliding all over the place to notice it. Now, what kind of engine did the one we were driving earlier have? It had an engine. What kind of engine? I don't know. It just says engine. This one says V8 engine. It's like when people go to buy an economy car, it doesn't really matter if it has an inline-4 engine or if it has a V6 or whatever. It's just how many MPGs does it get? And that's what they care about for economy cars, and that's what they're designed for. Now, race cars, though, I would like to know, well, what kind of engine was it supposed to have? It just had an engine. Like some guy from a junkyard, he just installed that thing. He's like, I don't even know how many cylinders that thing had. It was an engine. I found it, and I put it in the car. Now it has a proper V8 engine, which is quite a bit faster, and I think it also has different gearing to go with that as well. It just naturally comes with the engine because it feels like I can go a lot faster with this thing in a straight line where the other one started to top out way earlier. So right here, for example, let's see how fast we can go before we slam into that wall. See, we're going 90 miles per hour and we're just now shifting into fourth. So yeah, higher top speed, which means more violent wrecks, or not sometimes because you bounce off the wall and deflect, which just gets you a different kind of wreck. Get the nose pointed down so your front wheel can barely touch the ground, but the rear still work. We can just bounce it into the wall. It's about all we can do at this point in time because it's so damaged up. Although we can do donuts even though I have no steering. That's impressive. Now for the next question I want to answer is, can the AI drive this car decently? So I'm going to just go ahead and get this thing upright and hopefully in the middle-ish of the road. There we go. Now we're going to hit escape. Go to the apps menu and then we're going to go plus. And then we're going to find the AI control and place it wherever we want. I always place it right in the middle. And we're going to say, go in whatever direction you want. And I'm going to watch you from behind in a normal stock version of this car and try to just trail them. And for the color of mine, we're going to go with red. I don't think I've done red yet. And I almost hit replace right there. That would have been terrible. And ooh, that's a nice camera angle. It's going to be gone. Oh, goodness. What have I done? Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Oh, were you good? All right, we're good. So now we're just going to follow them and see how well they drive this thing. And the reason I want to do this is because, as I said earlier, it just feels a little bit different compared to cars in this game. So I was curious how they would do. And it looks like they are capable of using the car no problem, although they are pretty slow considering I have a much slower car than they do. You see, they way outspeed me in the straights, but then we get to the corners and I gain ground super fast. And going a little much right there, guy. Had to come to a stop, even he was scared. All right, now let's wreck it. A little bit of slow-mo going. How about 8 times slow-mo for the wreck? There we go. Actually, not that big of a wreck. Got one tire popping off. And into the trees. Hi, I'm on top of you now. I hope you're okay with that. Yeah, they're angry about that. They do not like this. Ooh, they pulled me down. How dare you? Who do you think you are? You do not pull me down. I push you up. Yeah, rev your engine. Urgh. Okay, this is dumb. Reset them both and let's see what happens if I crash into them again. They're going to get a huge lead on me right here, though. Did they even go that direction? Yes, they did. They were just way up ahead. I'm going to be a little cheaty right here and cut this corner. Cheating does pay off in this situation because we can slam into them. Hopefully right there. No, not quite. Oh, I thought I could catch him. No. Okay, get a new car and just keep going. Come on, steer tighter. Oh, that's close. I don't think I damaged it, but I did scrape it. All right, so there's a tight corner coming up, so I can gain on them no problem right here. Like, even after a crash and starting with 0 momentum, I'm already in their sights. Or they're in my sights, I should say. And we will get them soon enough. Might be able to pull it off in this corner if I went full crazy. No, they accelerate faster. Never mind. Next corner it is. As long as they don't have a long straightaway to accelerate, we're good. Here we go. Oh, that was not what I expected. I was hoping something more interesting would happen. Me parking on top of them is kind of interesting, I guess. Hey, where do you think you're going? And he's going away from me because I can't steer. I don't think. No, I cannot. Wait, I'm gonna get you with 3 wheels. I don't care. I don't need 4 wheels to catch you. You suck at driving. Check me out. 3-wheeling this thing. No problem. If I actually catch them, that'll be hilarious. No! No, my 3-wheeled beast has died. And with that death, I think we'll end the video. So until next time, this has been WhyBeAre. I'll see ya.